Well, it's been quite a long time since we've been out here on the Eastern Front, and I think I have a pretty appropriate way to approach this. We are actually going to be attacking across the bridge to Krasnaya Polenya, and I've actually got sort of like a forward attack group. What I'm going to be doing is actually taking my tanks and adding... Actually, never mind. We've got already 2 tanks here. So I'm going to keep these guys, and what I'm going to do is advance into Krasnaya Polenya full force with these guys. I'm going to take these guys, and I'm going to try to order them to fast move over here to Krasnaya Polanya East. I don't think it's going to be easy. We're moving a lot of equipment, but I get the feeling that if we're able to get a nice flank attack on the Soviets, that will break them in two. With the rest of our troops, we are going to go ahead and do just a standard assault. In fact, this is going to be a bit of a scout run, where I'm going to take essentially this group of SDKFCs. I'm going to move them up here. I'm going to do the same with these SDKFCs on the side, and I'll probably also take some additional units with them, but I don't want to take every single machine gunner, so I'm going to do this sort of systematically, individually, etc. So I'm going to move this guy up here. I'm going to move this SDKFC with a mortar up here as well. We definitely want spotters, so I'll move a few more SDKFCs up. But the rest of these guys, I'm going to actually leave behind and sort of see what happens, see if they make contact with any targets, etc. I'm also going to move Tremel up. This is our officer, but I don't want to move him up too far. I want to really have the rest of our guys really take the brunt of the combat and let the guys on the left side know what's going on. So again, I won't move all of them, just moving a few forward quickly to try and make contact, and then we kind of have a better idea of exactly where the enemy is. I'll also move up these mortars, etc., just to make contact with any enemies near the bridge. Let's see how our western flank is doing. They've got a lot of work to do. As you can see here, they have to cross some pretty treacherous terrain, and we are taking them out of trenches to make this assault, as we are the ones trying to get this offensive going. So wish our men luck. There's a whole lot of them, but obviously they could become easy targets for Soviet artillery and machine guns. Let's see how it goes, guys. Wish them the best of luck, and we shall return when the battle commences. Contact has been established, guys, and what do you know? They had actually a trench works right outside of the bridge. We totally missed this thing, but now we've got shots over here firing away at it, hopefully eliminating any troops inside. We essentially made a full push across the bridge here with our SDKFCs, and they're doing a beautiful job. I just want them to keep it going. The only thing I'm worried about is this SDKFC right here. It looks like the infantry is getting out. They're on the other side of the bridge, but incredibly, most of the enemy contact is on this side of the bridge, at least right now. Now, we've got some of them in buildings, of course. We're going to try to shoot them out of these buildings and eventually get in there. Another issue is that our men moving on the left, they've had a whole bunch of difficulty getting over here. We just reassigned the tanks to move properly, but essentially they have to go through all of these frozen lakes just to make it over here where they can actually start advancing. As you can see, we've got a lot of infantry here, and what I'm going to do with them is immediately fast move them into town here. We already got one of the units actually in town, unless he just got killed. But we want to keep on doing that and really just put all the pressure on them possible. All of the different units across the river here have got to go down. Infantry's doing fine. It looks like the SDKFC is continuing forward. And I think we completely wiped out all of the guys in that trench. I'm pretty sure we did anyway. We probably want to keep one of these SDKFCs kind of facing this way. And since Schott has done his job, let's move on through. Fast moving them through. I'll have Landschnecker go on an attack maneuver. He'll be a little more cautious, of course. I should have mentioned, these are also SS troops, so they're more than willing to fight here in this fight. They're more than willing to get into combat, but of course they're mere mortals, so they could easily be taken out. You can see a few guys over here. Wait, are those... No, those are Soviets. Those are Soviets that we've taken out. Good shooting, boys. And the rest of our troops, of course, trying to get over there. Let's see how our guys are doing getting into town. Again, we couldn't bring all of them just because of all of the frozen lakes, frozen rivers, etc. So we're bringing over the infantry that can make it to the fight. And I'm hoping their flank attack on the enemy will really help us out. see over here a tremendous amount of units trying to make it over here, and I'm just going to fast move them over to the east of the school. We need as many infantry units as possible. And obviously nobody wants to cross a frozen lake. Kind of trying to determine what's the safe place to cross. I don't blame him. Now, what I thought was a tank, I thought we do have a few tanks on this map, but it was actually just an STKFC with a nice gun on it. So I'm going to advance with him. The same is true for this tank right here. It's actually really nice to see all of those infantry units get out here, so I am going to push them to the bridge and defend this area. If it has to be with infantry, then so be it. Got some more SDKFCs crossing that bridge, and of course that is our objective point. It's going to be this area right here. Now with the mortar, I'm going to keep them here. With the SDKFCs, I will try to move forward. Still plenty of contact along the river, or amongst the river, between us and the Soviets. Vorwärts, Männer. Many of our guys here are terrified to make it across. I like, though, just a single infantry unit here to try and fast move over across the bridge there. Let's take a look at our guys over here. It looks like we've got quite a few units. Machine gun units, mortar units over here to the west of the enemy. So I am going to immediately start pushing. That's right, urban warfare time, folks. At this point, just get to the position as quickly as you can. In the meantime, we are going to move the rest of the SDKFCs forward, and we have taken the bridge. That's a big move, a big win. And this definitely means we want to get the rest of our SDKFCs out here. I don't see any Soviet armor, but it could be hanging out all over the place for sure. So let's get in there. Let's secure the bridge. That's a huge win for us. And if we could go on to secure center of the Krasnoya Poliana area, that would be even better. Sofgosh, the other village nearby, I'm not as concerned with, although, of course, the more the merrier. Welcome. Welcome to the front, boys. Beautiful. So some Soviets, of course, waiting for us in these buildings. The Dakas, this is a perfect place to set up the DPS HK. I'm hoping, however, that as we've destroyed this building here, any building with any sort of enemy fire is going to be destroyed, as you can see there. A perfect hit on top of that building. I think it was probably our SDKFC with an AT gun on it. I'm also seeing some actual commissars in this building. We absolutely need some more infantry. We've done great with the SDKFCs, but we need to bring in some more men on the ground, some boots on the ground. How are these boys doing? I think they're doing all right. Come on, guys. We need you to do a full-on assault of this area. Hit the enemy in the flank. Not the greatest situation for our SDKFC. He's going to have to break through this this wooden fence here that Ivan has put up. It's almost more effective than his bunkers. The wooden fences put up by the villagers are doing us a whole lot more damage. But as you can see, still a big problem getting these guys out of here. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to move them. We're just going to order a ultimate attack there on Krasnaya. Really just try to overload the area with units. We'll even bring our officer Tremel over here to show the enemy that we control this area. We don't consider this under contestation. Let's also get into some of these buildings over here at the front line. I wouldn't feel safe being one of the guys at the bridge right now, but they are the ones responsible for holding this location for our men and potentially delivering us a total victory.
Ivan im Anmarsch. Ivan im Anmarsch.
Let's see if movement is even advancing over here. It could be that these guys are just going to decide to take cover, but no, they are moving forward. I was worried they weren't. They're just taking their time, which, you know what, might actually be a good thing. Trying just to get the camera on that unit, but it doesn't look like it's going to work. Nonetheless, the rest of these guys are going straight for Krasnaya Polyana. I think we did an okay job clearing the bridge. The question is, can we really wrap the job up and make it through to the other side? So let's take Langnecker. We've already got some infantry actually patrolling this area. We can see them right there. So far, not a single Soviet, but they still hold that point, which is leading me to believe that they probably still have units over there, and we're just not quite seeing them. Plenty of SDKFC making over at this bridge, but being such a small bridge, such a short little bridge, it's not easy. It absolutely isn't. However, this SDKFC ready to fight. Oh, look at that. We have taken the bridge and Krasnaya Polyana, guys. Really nice. So the last area we would have to take is Sofgosh. So this unit with fresh troops, I'm actually going to set them up over here towards Sofgosh. I'm going to do the same with this SDKFC. We're not sending all of them up, but a good number of them up to see if we can't take that final point. And that would be a perfect attack, I think with pretty minimal casualties as well. Yeah, I think with these guys, we can almost just keep them here. Might not be a bad idea to move a few of these machine guns and, excuse me, a few of these machine guns and mortars forward. So let's do that. But for the most part, I think we've cleared this area up. I think the last point of defense is going to be Sofgosh. And what do you know? Volhyania. They also have units here. And sure enough, setting an ambush for us from the Dakas. They're all over the damn place here. Dismount, dismount. There we go. The infantry is going to dismount here and hopefully deal with the ambushing Soviets nearby. Taking shots from all over the place. They've got commissars in this building, commissars in this building. They're really using those officers to take us down. But luckily, one of our SDKZs was completely ready, threw an anti-personnel round into that building, and that is a dead commissar. But look at that. Right next to the burning building, it looks like they simply changed direction and sent 2 commissars in here. I prefer those men taken alive, but if we have to kill them, so be it, Männer. Throwing a Stellhandgranat. Looks like he's going for the MP40 instead, which works as well. And he's down. Yeah, that was a bit rough. Our SDKFC is getting desperate. He's even trying to drive into the building to get rid of the SDKFC. And look at that, sure enough, another Soviet trench work right there. Again, another explosion in that building. I think we once again wiped out the men inside. anytime they get into these buildings, they don't even have a single fighting chance. Usually it's great to go into a Dhaka, but with all the firepower we have here from our SDKFCs and our grenades, we're able to blow these guys out of these buildings without any difficulty. So I'm going to move up here. I know there are still commissars over here, and killing these commissars is going to be a very, very important part of this fight. Feel pretty safe. I'm going to move another MG42 up. Keep going, boys. This is the road to victory. So Reich's time is now. Like seeing our officer walking right over one of his downed soldiers. This is, of course, the result of an ambush, but we can't even see what's in here. Certainly a number of Soviet troops, and also the result of an ambush. Look at that. Got the enemy right in front of us. They waited until our officer actually got into position. I think we killed one of them, though, without any issue. We've got to get rid of the rest of them. Look at that. Looks like a few of the enemy up there on the hill, and, of course, plenty enemy still over here in this trench. Since we've gone heavy on SDKFZs, we don't have much in the ways of infantry to take this area. We do have the infantry that came with the SDKFZ, and that's what I'm going to use to try to destroy this this zone right here. Even guys like Stolz, I'd rather keep them in a building. But we are engaging the enemy over here. There's absolutely more of them here. This is our frontline infantry. They've just reached this area, and that supportive fire has really helped them out.
MG-Feuer! Stellung! Feindliche Infanterie! Die Russen kommen!
Alright, Tremel is approaching. Definitely a few dead Russians here, but I don't think we've got them all. Also, a few of the dead men on top here are our own men. So, the Russians could be right there. Got this infantry unit moving forward as well. Let's make sure it's an attack move. Same with the SDKFC. Yep, still Soviets, of course, here in the trench. It looks like we got one of them. Good shooting, boys. And the Commissar is long since dead. They might have just trenches going up this this area right here. Looks like an olive grove, but I know better. This is not the land for olives. No way. And let's make sure this machine gun is actually facing forward. And even after all this, you can see we still have a tremendous amount of machine gunners just trying to make it across. We're going to be moving all those units over here into the middle of Krasnaya Polyana. And sure enough, we've come across some actual commissars here. How will our men fare? Stop them right there. Sure enough, the enemy is asking for a ceasefire. We're not going to give them that right away. We have, of course, completed our main objectives. But if we could take Sofgosh as well, that would be a huge win, really, like, way beyond what we thought we were going to do. We were able to get across the bridge, secure Krasnaya Polyana. That's amazing, but if we could also secure Sofgosh, you guys have no idea. That would be just a massive victory. That requires us to dedicate quite a few men to this assault, and we're going to make it an overall onslaught. So I hope you guys are ready, because every single one of you is going to be part of this glorious historical offensive. Vorwärts! Für das Reich! And look at that. Commissar still popping up out of nowhere. The Russians have been amazing in this fight in the sense that usually we've done ambushes before, but these guys are somehow able to do ambushes where we think we've completely routed them out of an area, and then suddenly they appear in one of these buildings. So I'm taking this infantry unit. I'm not playing around anymore. I'm going to go search that building. Get in there. Search all these buildings along the roadside.
Kommunistengesindel. Jemand verletzt? Bolschewiken abtauchen. Ziel erkannt. Da drüben! Infanterie! Da drüben!
This is what we need. Well, we don't need him moving that way, but we need him moving up the road. Let's get a good eye on this STKFC. Clearly has no intention of keeping Soviet infrastructure alive. That's good.
Da wird eine Blechkrawatte fällig. Und geben die nicht einfach auf. Deckung! Die haben die Hosen voll. Halte die Augen auf.
Quite a few men on our left and right advancing towards the target, so I feel a little confident, but we're not even close to being next to Sofgosh. Alright, we hear some gunfire. Let's see what's going on. Sofgosh is close, brothers. I know they had trenches here before. I think we've wiped those out. My concern is that they might have trenches up here. But we're throwing caution to the wind. We're continuing that assault. And there's where our tank was. The amazing thing is we didn't need to use this martyr the entire fight, which is pretty amazing. So you know what? Saving a martyr and putting our infantry on the line might not be such a bad idea. There we go. What did I tell you? A few more Soviets there. One of our guns just took him out. The nice SDKFC by Falz. He's actually in a perfect position. If we see any trenches pop up, any units pop up, we're going to take those guys out without any problems at all.
Und geben die nicht einfach auf.
Watch Falz. Don't hit your own men, damn it.
Kommunistengesindel.
I could care less about Vodyanoye. That's another city there. I mean, obviously it has serious strategic importance, but with all the pushing we've done already, I think our boys have had enough. If they can take Sofgosh, they are heroes. It's that simple.
Warum geben die nicht auf?
Munition. Wenn der Krieg ausgesendet, werde ich wieder. Da drüben erkannt.
You have to come as well, friend. Having some trouble with the terrain here, especially Falz. His epic position may not have been intentional.
Augen auf.
Rechte Flanke sichern. Da wird die Blechkrawatte fertig.
Seid auf dem Platz und überprüft eure Munition.
Eine brammeln die da. Warte.
Kommunistengesindel.
Wenn der Krieg aus ist, dann werde ich wieder lösen.
Look at that, boys. That's what we've been looking for. That's what we've been waiting for. A nice group of Wehrmacht, or in this case, actually SS units, taking Sofgosh. Once we take this, I'm totally fine with accepting the ceasefire. But I wanted to make sure this was under our control, and there we go. It certainly is. We'll give a few more seconds to see if the enemy wants to surrender, also to see if we can capture any of them. But Sofgosh is ours. This is beautiful. So what I want to do now with our infantry is put them into that building. I think this area is totally under our control. I think the Soviet presence here has been eliminated. Of course, Vodyavnoye would be amazing to take, but that's not going to happen. So we're going to accept that ceasefire, try to save some German lives, and I think, all things considered, getting across that bridge was a pretty effective maneuver. These are all dead Soviets on this side. I'm trying to look for a single dead German. I don't see them. I know most of them are going to be in the main road in the city. But man, they've done a nice job. So let's see how it comes out in terms of casualties, in terms of victory, etc. It's going to be a minor victory. I like it. I think a total victory would be more appropriate, but I'll take it. 4 killed on our side, 26 killed on the enemy side. We still had 37 wounded, which is quite a lot compared to the Soviet 38. You know, they had 1 more. It just seems that more of our men were able to get, you know, of course, the medical support they needed, and they were able to make it out of the fight victorious. So if you enjoyed that battle, make sure to hit that like button, drop a comment down below, and of course, subscribe if you are new. Thanks so much, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.